Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be continuing with the trigonometry, and then today I'll be showing you guys how to find the trig ratio of any angle. So far the angles that we have talked about are 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees even. So we'll be talking more about like other angles in this, like, so if they ask you to find, let's say, the sine of what 120 degrees, how will you find it? So this is what we are going to be talking about today. So one of the things that we need to know, or some of the rules in solving this, is that so let's just say finding the trig ratio of any angle. So one of the basic rule that you need to know here is you need to find the acute angle associated with what? With, let me put this in quotes, the big angle. Okay, the angle in question, you need to find the acute angle that's associated with it. So we'll find that very soon. Then the second rule is to what? Is to compute the trig ratio for the acute angle. Then the third one, the only three, the third one is to what? Assign the appropriate sign using the cast diagram. So that's basically what you are going to do. So let's start with an example, and then you get a better understanding of what you're trying to do. So let's, for example, you want to what? Find sine of what? 120 degrees. How will we compute this? So first you need to draw the 120 degrees in the Cartesian plane. Normally, you know, in trigonometry we start from the positive x-axis in the anti-clockwise direction, right? So we'll start from here, and from here to here is what? 90 degrees. And then to get 120, we need to draw another what? 30 degrees, right? So we draw some 30 degrees, and then when you draw this should give us what? This whole angle here should give us what? 120 degrees, right? The associated acute angle is the angle that this line here, the line here, makes with the what? X-axis. Okay, the angle it makes with the x-axis, and this is what? 60 degrees. So this is the associated acute angle with respect to this when you draw it here. So the sine of what? 120 degrees will be equal to what? The sine of what? 60 degrees. Okay, and when you compute that, you are going to get what? Square root of what? 3/2. From the previous lessons, we find how to solve this from like first principle. So please refer to that video. I'll put it in the comment in the description. Now we don't know the sine, so we need to, so based on the rules, first we have found that associated acute angle, and then we have computed what? The trig ratio. Now you need to find the sine. So to find the sine, that's when you use the cast. So what? Cast, right? So in this quadrant, only what? Sine is positive. So the associated acute angle here should be positive. So all this will be what? Positive. Now let's look at another example maybe where the whole this thing will become negative. So let's just call example one. Let me just go to two. So let's check cos 200 and what 40 degrees. 240 degrees, if you simplify it, you get is what 180 plus what 60 degrees, right? So when you draw it, you draw a full 180 degrees, then you draw another what 60 degrees. So you draw 60 degrees here, and then this angle is what 240 degrees. It is lying in the what, so let me just use the cast system a rest. It's lying in the what third quadrant, which is where tan is what positive, right? And every other thing is what negative. So since we are talking about cost will be negative in this quadrant, right? So the cost of 240 will be equal to negative, because you are talking about negative is the sign, then cost of what the associated acute angle, which is what the 60 degrees, the angle that this one makes with the what positive with the x-axis in this quadrant. We are not talking about the angle that this line makes with what the y-axis. You're always talking about the angle that is made with the what the with respect to the x-axis, which is what 60 degrees. And then when you compute this, you get what negative 1/2. Okay, now I'll do one more example and then we'll move on to talking about another thing. Which example should I use? Okay, so let's check tan 135 degrees. And if you draw this 135, this will go from here. This is like 275, right? No, 270, right? Then you draw, oh yeah, then you draw another angle here. Yeah, like this, right? So the associated acute angle over here will be equal to 45 degrees, right? The associated acute angle here will, so this whole angle from this side to this side is what 135, then 315, sorry. Then the associated acute angle is what 45 degrees. So tan what tan 315 degrees will be equal to tan of what 45 degrees, but we don't know the sign, so we'll use what the cast system to find what the sign will be. This is in what the fourth quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant only the cos is positive and tan is what negative, so we need to negate this angle here, and you should get your answer to be tan of 45 is what 1, so you should get your answer to be what -1. So that's how to like compute any trig, like trig diagram. So try drawing the diagram around it.